I just went $1 million into debt and I'm excited. And now I owe the bank 7 figures. In fact, it's actually closer to $1.2 million. I need to pay over $1,500 to the bank every single week, and yet I'm grateful for being able to do so. Firstly, when I say I actually mean my wife and I. But we are both liable for the full amount. However, we both earn money so we can manage the payments between our combined income. More so, the reason we are over $1 million in debt is because we just bought our second property. By buying a second property, it means we will move out of our first property and rent that out, which also will contribute to our loan repayments. In fact, nearly 30% will be covered by renting out that property, less costs. The loan interest and any costs associated with that property are also becoming tax write-offs as a result. Now, we actually started backward to most people. We purchased an investment property to start with, but lived in it for the first 3 years. As a result, we were able to take advantage of government incentives to buy this property, which is something to always look out for. In life, we have to pay so many taxes, so any opportunity or grant that you can get, you should go all in for. However, as a result of starting out with a place that we always intended to rent out in the near future, it's also kind of never felt quite like home. It's felt like a place we would move out of when we were ready to buy something bigger. Don't get me wrong, it was a nice place to live in and we did well out of it. However, we didn't do any modifications such as hanging stuff or any permanent changes because we always knew it was only temporary. However, by doing it this way, we saved $30,000 up front by not having to pay stamp duty, simply by buying the properties in the order that we did. We also got lucky that there was a new incentive of a stamp duty discount on our new place, meaning we saved another $25,000. So with a few small subtle differences, we would have actually had to pay $55,000 more in upfront money, which is a lot more because it comes out of the deposit, not the end loan money. When money comes out of the upfront costs, it affects how much you can afford to buy. Money at the end is spread out in the repayments over the loan, so $55,000 at the end is about $2,000 a year on a 30-year loan. But the value of the property will appreciate by more than that over that time. $55,000 upfront could be the deposit on some places, so it's a massive difference. And when the money comes out of the upfront, it's like losing that money being invested over time as opposed to just having to pay back the loan amount of that money. While 7 figures is a hell of a lot, there are multiple types of debt, and the fact that this is a mortgage debt is a massive difference. 7 figures of credit card debt firstly would be very hard to get, but at 20% interest, it would be like $200K a year of interest. Even if you got it on a low-cost credit card at 5%, that's still $50,000, which unless you're earning high 7 figures or more, isn't really manageable at all. However, with a home loan, the current rates are only in the mid 2% range, which is still approximately $25,000 to $30,000 of interest each year. However, at the same time, the properties are accumulating in increased value from the rising house market. And since the value of properties generally go up by more than 2.5% each year, we're actually making a profit on that. Therefore, it's actually making us more money in the long term when we go to sell the properties because they'll be worth more than what we've had to spend in interest. In theory at least, and ultimately from my perspective, I can't see why it won't, but at the same time, there is no guarantees in life. Both properties are in blue chip areas, and given Melbourne is a rapidly increasing market with an increasing population where there is no new land except for further out, meaning that inherently the prices do have theoretically to go up over time. Maybe in the short term there will be drops, but in the long run it will go up. At least in my perspective. Again, I'm not giving you advice here, so it's up to you to do your own investigations, but this is my beliefs. Also, we actually don't plan to ever sell, and instead our second property would be a good place to rent out in the future as well. But we have made the conscious choice to live in it as if we're going to live in it and not to just hold back as if it's going to be a future rental. And yeah, we are very fortunate to be in a position where we can afford to be able to afford this as a part of our balanced financial lifestyle as well. Also, it acts as a motivator towards keeping our costs low and forces us to make sure we use our money towards paying off the loans rather than spending on stuff that we don't necessarily need. However, having said all of this video is the positive. My next video will be the polar opposite and why I hate the mortgage, with a lot of stuff that is completely unrelated but I think is actually affected by it, which I'll link to at the end of this video when it comes out. Hopefully it all works out. It's an exciting journey, and if you would like me to cover more aspects of this, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to see how it goes and chuck us a like to see more like this. And as always, good luck. And if you made it this far, you'll probably enjoy one of these videos.